32 minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and salutations. I'm Spaceboy, and across from me is the lovely Surlana. And this is Spaceboy Universe. It is October 13th, 2018, and we're on show number 3.03. And tonight we're doing topic roulette. Right, Surlana? She's shaking her head yes. As always, follow us on Twitter. That's at the SB Universe. Follow Surlana at Surlana. Follow me at Spaceboy Music. Make sure to hashtag your tweets tonight with hashtag SB Universe and hashtag Space Cadets. In addition to Twitter, you can find us all over social media because that's how we roll. Just search for Spaceboy Universe. Hey, Space Cadets, you'll want to check out the YouTube channel. We do more than the archive of shows there. There is video content from SB Music, video interviews, 2-bit gamers, and so much more. Hit that subscribe button and click that bell to be notified when new content is available. Can't catch a show live? No problem. We'll take SBU on the go with you via Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartMedia, and Spotify. And another destination coming soon and once I get it all set up. But just like we're our social media, we're all over the interwebs. There's no way you can't miss us. So on that magical note, because we like to broadcast, let me bring in the lovely Surlana. Good evening, Surlana.
Am I still muted?
No, you're not muted. I had you turned up. It was kind of weird before the show, so I could hear you over the music that was playing.
Yeah. Once again, right before the show airs. Fraught with tension.
What night isn't?
I don't know. He managed to get me riled up right before we go on the air. Oh, boy. Yeah. So I will go ahead and apologize to everyone in advance. I have not felt well this week. I haven't felt well in like 3 or 4 months. I don't know what's wrong with me, if my immune system's trashed, or it's just like you're going to get old and just be sick all the time. I got not one but 2 things going on right now. I won't get into it. Won't bore you with that. One of these things keeps coming back, going away, coming back, going away. So I should probably see a doctor, but I can't find one that takes my insurance. So anyway, I was sick, yet busy at work. I did go to work all week. I didn't miss any work, so there's been no time for research. I didn't have a show topic idea. I do have some, but they're all history related, so I don't know what y'all think about just bam, 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 history topics back to back to back. It's just like what fascinates me and the things that I have gaps in my knowledge about that I feel like I should know. So don't know if y'all are on board for a bunch of history stuff. So yeah, I've been writing down some ideas. I've got enough to get us through banter, but for a 3-hour show, I just don't know. And I apologize. I guess it's my fault. I'll take the blame for it. I'm not going to cry about it or lose sleep over it, but
No, she'll blame me.
We're supposed to be somewhere else right now, but unfortunately that did not work out. We've had some hard knocks.
Hard times. So we apologize for that. We've been busy with signs on the side of the road. Will work for the universe for money.
Yeah. So that's going on, and in any spare time that you and I have had together has been spent watching stupid things on TV just so we could feel better about life and everything, you know. And, of course, one of the things we did was we finished The Venture Brothers and Better Call Saul, the current seasons of both of those shows.
Was that the season finale?
Yeah, that was the season finale of both.
Well, that kind of sucks.
It does suck, and that's why everybody's picking apart Better Call Saul at this point. And I just... One of them was... Venture Brothers was like, what the Sam Hill is going on? I couldn't follow it. I was lost. There were characters. I'm like, who are they? Why are they here? I understand. I still watched it. And Better Call Saul was very satisfying. In fact, maybe 3 episodes ago, or 3 or 4 episodes ago, they had an episode titled Coshada, Louisiana. That's 40 minutes south of my hometown. My theory is nothing against Coshada, but I'm pretty sure it's infested with vampires. Go there, you check it out, you be the judge. You tell me what you think. So, we might get to discuss that with somebody soon. So anyway, I enjoyed that. And then when I listened to the official podcast for Better Call Saul, I found out a lot of the scenes that they did for Louisiana were computer generated or had to be augmented with computer generated pieces, like part of the buildings. Like they went there and they filmed some buildings, but they didn't have, it wasn't quite right for what they needed. So they had to like CGI a top of a building to make it look like a post office, render some trees on a bayou so it would look like, you know, Louisiana. It is on the Red River, Coshada. Red River comes down by it. Went there several times. This is back when my dad was still working for the Louisiana Department of Transportation. He was a civil engineer. He retired as a civil engineer, but when he was starting to wind down, right before he retired, he was still employed, they would send him as a representative to these levee board meetings. And these levee board meetings only happened like once every 2 months or so in Coshada. And they were at night, and they seemed like they were only in the fall. For some reason, I can remember. So he would take my mom and I with him and go into this building. And for some reason, Mom and I would just sit in the car and it was at night, you know, it was dark. Mm-hmm. And she would be up there, I don't know if she had like a little book light or something, reading Gothic murder mysteries, you know, while we're out there in the dark in Coshada. And she'd read them to me. And she had a sick sense of humor. Something I do appreciate about her. But no, we didn't live near a swamp. I know everybody thinks Louisiana is all like Cajun country, which is to the south. That's extreme south, which you do have swamps and bayous and bogs. But there are places that are not swampy. Where I was from, it was mostly about lakes. You know, Caddo Lake. Things like that.
A lot of West Texas.
Although we do have our share
Texas.
of gators, you know, we did have some bayous and things like that. But
be careful where you step.
But it was civilized where I lived. You know, it's civilization. We probably edged out most of the wildlife, but yeah, everybody thinks Louisiana looks like South Louisiana, with the trees, the dripping moss, and the bayou, and well, North Louisiana could not be more different. So it looks northwest Louisiana looks just like northeast Texas. It's not terribly interesting.
Surlana is not related to the swamp people.
No, I'm not related to the Duck Hunt Dynasty people either. They're from Louisiana too. So from what I've heard, I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. One of them, if you can believe that. So, yeah. I just brought that up because when that came up and he was on that bus, he got on a bus in New Mexico in that episode, Coshada, and you know he was on I-10. and he drove through Texas. And one of the stops was in Houston, and the next stop after that was Shreveport. So he went all the way up to Shreveport and then down to Coshada, which is south. So I was like, shout out. That was really unexpected and cool. And then there was a scene we watched maybe in one of the episodes here that was close to the end where they're in a parking garage, and on the top level parking garage arguing, and you can see, I don't know if this is downtown Albuquerque, but you can see the buildings in Albuquerque around them. And I said, look at that building. What's on top of that building? So you went on Google Earth or something, and you found that building. It's like, oh, it's a star. And so it was kind of interesting. So they're really filming where they are. I think that's cool.
Albuquerque, yes.
Mm-hmm. So they do try to go on location. I think that's neat when they go somewhere else. But that has been fascinating, and something that I learned just before we came on air is if you did this correctly, saying you watched Breaking Bad when it came out or any time until Better Call Saul started to air, you have one experience with Breaking Bad. Now, if you watch that and then you go back and you watch Better Call Saul till right now, and you go back and try to watch Breaking Bad, you will not experience Breaking Bad the same now. Because now you know things about some of these characters you did not know before. And you know now they're more complex. They're not just a bad guy. They're not just a drug lord. They're not just a guy caught in the middle. They have motivations and reasons for what they did. Not all of them were good or right or correct or moral, but you get to see the process that took Mike Ehrmantraut to that place where he ended up in Breaking Bad. Really interesting stuff. And Jimmy is not in a good state of mind. He is in a terribly unhealthy state of mind when he transforms himself into Saul Goodman and becomes this sleazy lawyer in Breaking Bad. He's the lawyer you go to when you know you're guilty. When you know. So he used to be a caring, moral-ish individual, but he's just too good at being bad. So that's probably why he was in Breaking Bad. So I'm thinking, so it's been really interesting journey. What I liked about Better Call Saul is it really made you think. You had to stop and you asked questions like, why did he just do that? Why would blah blah blah? It really makes you. It's like trying to solve a puzzle, and the payoffs have always been really, really good with it. So I recommend it as a series to watch, but I would not watch it until you've seen all of Breaking Bad, which is difficult to watch. Breaking Bad is difficult. It weighs you down. You don't feel good about life or anything after every episode until it's over. And I feel like the people that should have died. There's some people that shouldn't have died, but most people got what they deserved that really needed it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go back and you watch Saul, and it's like it took some of those people to a different level. You just wouldn't believe. And the scams and schemes that Jimmy McGill runs, you just can't believe it. Just really interesting stuff. So that's been what we've been doing when we've not been doing anything. You want to keep going, or?
No, are you ready for me to kick in?
Sure.
So I saw the first episode of Doctor Who recently.
I was going to ask you about that.
And, I committed to watching a few episodes, but so far I'm not impressed with, I think her name's Jodie Whittaker. And
it's not because...
What, because she's a woman?
Yeah.
No, it's not. And, people should just get over that. I don't live in my mother's house, and I'm not in my basement or her basement. So I'm not a crying white man in a basement about all this crap that I seem to, circle around. I've always been positive about women.
I can vouch for that. I would not be married to him if he wasn't.
I think my biggest complaint is that, there are roles out there that are for example, okay, should we put a man to replace Mary Poppins?
I'd kind of like to see that because that would be weird and hysterical.
Well, I don't think that that's necessary.
Well, get the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
But I'm saying, like, for example, there are roles that are meant for females, and there are roles that are meant for males. But I hate this feminism stuff that's going on right now. That we have to put a role in. We have to change James Bond to a female. Or
I was going to ask you about that. There's an article that says why James Bond will never be a female.
Well, it should never be a female.
And it's not because we're trying to exclude women from opportunity. Well, make your own movie. Mm-hmm. Call it, James Cena Bondina or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I guess it irks me that there's this need to push this agenda, and it's unnecessary.
When you push something and somebody's already not for it, that's just going to make them push back harder. It's not going to change minds. That's like brute force, and that's not the answer. There's something else I could get into, but I am not going to get into it here.
Another one would RoboCop should be a woman.
It could happen. How come, I don't really have a problem with that because, RoboCop's not that great of a film or anything, so it's not like you can't mess with it.
Okay,
RoboCop 3 was terrible.
Why
not go ahead and...
Here, let me bring this one up. Okay, so it wasn't a great one, but Terminator 3 brought a female Terminator into the mix.
I did not see it.
And...
I was just sort of
It is what it is
for
what we could get for Terminator, and so it wasn't a big whoop, But
well, what about
Claire Danes? I believe
the Sarah Connor
Chronicles.
I can't say those words together.
You don't recall me enjoying that?
Yes, but didn't that have a female Terminator that was Shirley Manson, the lead singer of Garbage?
Yes,
I freaking love that band Garbage, and I love their music.
I actually enjoyed that series, and I was.
She loved playing that too. She would be on Craig Ferguson. She's like, I love having my little metal arms and stomping down the hallway.
I thought she was great in that.
They told her she would never she'll never get to act because of her thick Scottish accent. Well, what if she doesn't say a word?
What about Arnold? He had a thick accent.
There's a whole rant you need to hear if you've not heard it by Bill Burr about Arnold and him getting caught with his maid. Yeah, and you need to hear that. I don't think you've heard that one.
Well, anyway, getting back to the feminism angle, parts of the new Doctor Who show was pretty cool. I enjoyed. It was nice. It's kind of like. It felt like a Doctor Who episode, which that's off to at least a decent start. But in the end, I think that Jodie's character, she's trying to push it to be the spastic doctor that everybody loves, and I think it's overly done. There are times when you look at her and she has no emotion on her face, and I don't know. She is not Matt Smith. She is not David Tennant. She's definitely no Tom Baker, that's for sure.
So you're saying she's not got a personality?
No. I'm trying to remember.
Is this like the Voyager thing where they started up with this French woman and she was like The Walking Dead
she's not
versus Janeway?
She's not that bad.
Oh, she's not dead on screen.
No. She's not, not like that French woman. Or Canadian French woman. I can't think of her name right now.
Bujold or something like that.
Yeah. But she doesn't have. Maybe you can tell me because since you're pretty good at British actors and actresses, the show Broadchurch.
I'm familiar with it. This is the David Tennant, and I can't think of that girl's name, but she's gotten really popular.
That girl was being considered. She was being considered for the Doctor.
I can look that up.
And which is funny because out of that show,
Broadchurch,
Jodie Whittaker was in that show.
They tried to bring that show over here and it didn't work.
No, it didn't.
Olivia Colman,
yeah.
And she was in What's the Simon Pegg thing where he was a cop?
Yeah, Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz. She was in Hot Fuzz.
Now, I would have been behind that as with her as the doctor. She's funny. She's entertaining.
Yeah, she's lively. She's got a personality.
She definitely
brings something to the table.
She would bring something to the table. See, which goes into what I was going to say is you pick the best person to play the part. You hire somebody the best person to hire for the part.
Jodie, the way they've got her dressed, she looks quirky, like she could be, like a Doctor Who, but I've not seen it. I probably won't watch it because I'm just over Doctor Who. I don't have a problem with it. If you like it, that's great. I got other things to do.
No, I'm tired of this agenda that's out there to force everybody. Let's be diversified and let's push feminism and me. I've always said, hey, if a woman can do it and she steps up to the plate and knocks it out of the park, more power to her. And I'm willing to give women that opportunity, then I'm all for it. But, in this case, they're really pushing this agenda, and it's affecting geekdom all over the place. Whether it be Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, and the only thing that hasn't been really hurt too much is Marvel. But with the onset of what's coming down the pipe, Captain Marvel, it'll be really interesting to see what happens with that movie when it comes out. So speaking of Disney, I read an article recently that Disney is regretting firing Roseanne Barr from the Roseanne Show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're scared that the replacement show that they have coming up called The Conners, which in this show, spoilers everybody, I guess
cares.
Roseanne has died in the show. And so...
Oh, not only take her off her own show, kill her while we're at it.
Kill her off the show. Her compared to James Gunn, I think she's a saint compared to James Gunn, which you were talking how DC is bringing James Gunn over to, I guess, work on...
DC?
Yeah, he's working...
Suicide Squad, maybe?
Suicide Squad, exactly. Thank you. And so, I was telling you that, some of these movies, these movies that are being produced, they're going to live and die by the fan. Because, the fan is woke now, if you want to use an expression that's out there, and they are not going to put up with that garbage. It's kind of like that meme that has Fry on it from Futurama, take my money. Well, a lot of fans they're not going to pony up and pay for stuff that they don't agree with. And it'll be interesting to see how James Gunn works out.
So you're not interested in this article called 6 Feminist Horror Movies to Watch This Halloween Season?
No, especially if one of them is Teeth. Is Teeth on that one?
Wait a minute, click it. Hold on, it's taking a while. Oh, it's trying to load video clips. Hold on. There's
No. Anyway, Teeth, if you're wondering, my space cadets out there, apparently, and I hope this is not too graphic, this young woman has a set of teeth somewhere else. And
somewhere down below.
Yeah, and I guess she engages with some other men, and of course they get castrated. And so, yeah, that's the last kind of movie I'd like to see is some guy getting his Franks and beans removed.
I happen to land on this. It's called Review. Mm-hmm. Doctor Who is back, diverse, and better than ever. I'm going to let you guess what website is this article on.
Okay. It's going to be either the Mary Sue or it's going to be on the AV Club. Did I hit it?
You got it the first time.
Okay. Because I've been reading a lot of articles recently, and it's been from, I like the AV Club. They usually have pretty good articles.
I got hooked on it before they got all, you've got to unsubscribe, blah, 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 turn off your blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I liked it before it wanted me to turn off my ad blocker. Mm-hmm. But I got hooked on it a few years back,
right,
when I was looking at their forums. Not their forums, their comment section below articles. And I was reading articles about community.
Right, I remember that.
And I got There's something about the comment section on the AV Club under any given article that is so radically different from any other comment section on any other web page.
They've kind of moved the comment section, and that's how their articles are now. The comment section is like the articles, they're more interesting when they insult each other, and they do. This is your typical trolling. Mm-hmm. It's on another level. It's like highly enjoyable. And I would read these ones about was it Community? You know, when Community was on NBC. Yeah, you were doing.
And
most
the
of
guy
Community.
that played Garrett would show up in the comments and comment about the episodes that he was on and some of the things he had experienced when he was on the show. Mm-hmm. And of course, they just absolutely adored him, you know. But I haven't been back to look at that because it wants me to turn off my ad blocker. And I get why they need me to do that, but I also deeply resent having to turn off my ad blocker.
It's a double-edged sword now, especially since working with the universe, right?
Yes. I mean, I get it. I don't like it. This is the world we live in.
Got to make money somehow.
I understand.
If there's no commercials, then, that's why we encourage you to go to our YouTube channel. It costs nothing to you, and if just by playing our video, it actually racks up revenue for us so that we can continue to make the content that you're wanting.
Yeah.
So it's just a nice little circle that goes round.
We're not going to be able to quit our jobs or anything, but we probably won't even be able to buy a sandwich for that. But every little bit counts.
But
it shows YouTube that people care.
We could send it to Sally Struthers.
Is she even alive?
Yeah, she's still.
Still alive?
Yes.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Anyway, topic of conversation came up today about that. A cousin of mine was talking about Taco Bell and how cheap and affordable it is.
Well, we were forced to eat there because of lack of funding, and I was desperate. I said, "There's got to be something on this menu I can eat." Well, I did find something, and if we get in these dire straits again, at least I know I can find something to eat there.
This isn't a pledge drive right now, Surlana.
Well, the thing is, we had some setbacks due to emergency dental work on both of us. Yeah. And it was unexpected. We didn't have anything to cover it. There was some loss of income because of, being out of personal time off and
having to pay for stuff.
I'm hoping things might get better before the end of the year, but maybe not. I don't know. Just like this is the world we live in.
Now I got a Howard Jones song in my head.
But I'm finding out more and more as I
get older,
interact with other people at work, and our friend. And
we're not alone.
We're not alone. A lot of people are suffering and living paycheck to paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck, and pants falling down in garages, and
it's
cats and dogs
not just
outside.
us, and it's not like we're being fiscally irresponsible, or it's just the times we live in. It just sucks and sucks and sucks.
There you go. And if you're more depressed, our show will be brought to you by some pharmaceutical, and we'll let you know when they give us the name of the prescription for whatever is ailing Surlana.
Ask your doctor if Spaceboy Universe is right for you.
It is right for me. All right, so it's close to the bottom of the hour. Let's take the break. As we've discussed, it is kind of open forum tonight, and we are just going to go all over the place.
We're just going to wing it, baby.
Hopefully you've taken your anti-depression medicine tonight, and because you never know with Surlana, I'm the hopeful one, and she's the one
I'm going to bring you down.
Sometimes I feel like she's the Ryan Johnson of this group.
That is the most terrible, insulting thing you could ever do, short of calling me the C word.
Well, I feel like I'm Luke Skywalker or Mark Hamill, and you're telling me to play Luke like on The Last Jedi.
Kid.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll be right back after this. And may the Force be with you.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SVU Network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
This is author Jordan Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe. Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
There you go. K28 should be happy now. I've played the goat.
Yes, Bob, I will acknowledge that. The guy who played Garrick on Star Trek DS9 was the bad guy from the Dirty Harry movie.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only reason I went back to watch that movie, Dirty Harry.
Because I told you that it was the guy.
And I was like, it's Garrick as a young guy with no makeup. And that was a movie. That was a major motion picture released in theaters, right?
Yes.
Dirty Harry. Why did it feel like a made-for-TV movie?
It was just, I guess, the time. It wasn't like they dumped. It wasn't a big budget.
Yeah, it just felt like.
And
the quality, I guess maybe it was the quality. It was just in the clichéness of it, maybe.
He was the Scorpio killer.
Yes. I was not particularly scared of him in that movie. I'd be more worried about going up against Garrick because he's tricky, he's deceitful, and I would love to talk more about that, but we can save that for
the end of the month.
Our show on the 27th, because that's as close as it'll be to the 30th. Because the 30th is our wedding anniversary, and our relationship, our wedding, is all about Star Trek and overall sci-fi.
Put the love and commitment aside. Our relationship is built on Star Trek.
It's Star Trek, and it's built off of sci-fi, but somehow over the years, you and I came to really appreciate Star Trek Deep Space Nine as a series, and well, in particular, a very specific episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine where Garrick is featured, and he does the dirty work, and he's pretty much the hero, and he can't take the credit for it because that'll get everybody in trouble. But it's Star Trek Deep Space Nine in the Pale Moonlight. That's the name of the episode. And that's the one we always watch on our wedding anniversary. And I guess we could talk more about that in another week or two. If you care about the Spaceboy Surlana origin story, that'll be when we'll rehash it for you if you care.
Yeah, how we met and everything.
Yeah, how we met. And why it's still what's holding it together, we don't know. So we'll try to figure that out. But I was just fiddling on my phone, during the break. And I have something on my phone which I use on the web browser, but I really appreciate it on my phone. And that is the DuckDuckGo search engine. And they just hit 30 million private searches per day. Now that's far behind Google and some others, but of course that beats AOL, which I didn't know was still a thing.
AOL, yes.
As a search engine.
I
didn't know.
As a tech guy for a help desk, you'd be surprised how many clients I come across that are still using that and have to support that and have to tell them that, did you hear that? There was a knock at the door. That was the 90s, and they want AOL back. Yeah,
they need to put it in their museum. So I really appreciate DuckDuckGo because they're all about your privacy and not hanging on to your information and data like Google does. Now, I use Google on purpose because it does take my information from one computer to another. I do need that for certain things. But when I don't really want anybody up in my business, I have DuckDuckGo as an app on my phone. And the cool thing about it is, in order to even open it, I have to put my thumb over the home button. And when you get ready to close it, there's a little fire icon, and it just burns everything you were looking at. So no one will ever get into it, and even if they do, they'll never see what you were looking at.
And don't think that by going to like Safari that you're doing yourself any benefits, because you know why? Is because the algorithms that run Safari is Google. You know that Apple pays Google a certain amount of money for that, and allows Google to come in and put their algorithms into their Safari
even
browser.
If you're on private mode?
I don't know. I'd have to research that more because I actually do use the private mode. I try to avoid using Google as much as I can. It's so hard, especially as a technician, when I'm having to research, to find stuff.
That's why I appreciate DuckDuckGo in some cases.
But
when I do the research for this show, I use DuckDuckGo because I don't want to look like a wingnut that needs to go on a list somewhere when I'm just doing honest-to-God research on a topic.
Yeah, because I don't like the idea of Google building a dossier on me.
Yeah. Well, his history shows that he searches for this type of thing. So therefore, so I really appreciate it. It's so so I'm hoping this means they're growing. It's reached their record in just over 10 years after it was first launched. I was not aware DuckDuckGo had been there for 10 years. I thought it had only been there for like 3 or 4. And you really appreciate it when you get these scandals that come out about Facebook and, breaching of our data. Google's tracking everything we do in our history and as well as our physical location.
That's why I laughed recently when Facebook recently was hacked.
Yes. They want us to trust them, but they can't. There's nothing there for us to trust. They can't back up their claims. Like, you're safe. No, we're not. And I would leave it, but we have this show to promote.
But even as a rule of thumb, when using Facebook, I try not to put any kind of personal information.
I've learned not to just, every now and then I will rant about something. But if I do, it's something like I'm mad at SharePoint or I'm mad at Microsoft Word. It's not something that's going to condemn me for, all eternity. I try to keep things very generalized, or I'll share a link, or I'll put something. I stay away from politics, stay away from religion. I don't give my opinion on anything of importance because I don't care about drama and I don't want to bring it on to myself. And now I have built this not huge, but it feels huge to me when you're an introvert, this little network of people on there that I generally do care about and like to see what they're doing with their update. And that's the only place they talk about whatever. So I feel like I can't leave. Even if we didn't have this show, I'd feel kind of obligated. But I'm very careful about now what goes up there. If it got exposed to the world, would I be uncomfortable?
I see, and I'm like from the angle of it's a great way for me to stay in touch with the space cadets. And it originally started off with, okay, my family knows what's going on. They know I'm not dead. I know that's terrible. You would think family, you would be more connected.
They'd call or text, but no, that's fine.
But I admit, you always joke around about the fact that if I'm not within 24 miles of somebody,
they're dead to you.
And I hate driving.
In Houston, driving is serious. It's a battle. You got to really want to go where you're going to go.
Let me put it in perspective for people. And I know people that live out in Los Angeles, they're going to say, oh, we have it really bad out here compared to you. My commute is 9 miles from this house that we live in. But it takes me almost an hour to get home or to get to work.
Because of traffic. And you've taken every possible alternate route to get home, and nothing improves the time.
The only thing that improves is my attitude, because if I'm going the same route every day, I think I would put a bullet in my head already because of the monotony and the stupidity of Houston drivers. And, so...
And I'm not from here. I'm sure this would offend anybody, locals. I'm not even from Texas. So if you want to condemn me for that, go right ahead. But I do not understand Houstonians in the way they drive. I really don't. When there's, I'm not talking about torrential downpour. I'm not talking about hurricane. I'm talking about the slightest bit of moisture from the sky, and they freaking lose it like they've never seen it before in their lives and don't know what to do. I don't get it. I won't go down this path because but like I say, I'm not from here. I'm not from Texas. I don't get it. Maybe this is where y'all trained to drive this way, living in Texas or living in Houston. I don't understand this overly cautious behavior to the point where everyone's afraid to move over 5 miles an hour when there's just the least bit of moisture on your windshield. I don't get it. I grew up, was like, oh, it's raining. I might slow down 5 miles. We were not afraid of hydroplaning in Louisiana. It's just like, That would just be an extra fun part of the day. That's a bonus.
I'm surprised that you don't slap a big old fan on the back of your car. And
like a, hover boat, what do you call it?
Yeah. What do they call them?
My brain's just completely blank.
I just want to put a shout out.
I know what you're talking about, though.
That we hope that our good friend of the show, Patrick Sporer, is doing okay. As you know, the big old hurricane just went through the panhandle of Florida.
That was a stealth hurricane. It's like, I didn't hear anything.
It did come out of
boom,
nowhere.
And it happened. I was like, what hurricane? My goodness.
That's why I've been finding it hard to trust weather.com, because every time I go on there, it says, there's no rain. And then, sure enough, we were
like... As a hurricane coming, boom, it's there.
Yeah. I'm just not feeling good about that site predicting the weather,
Well, I have the Weather Channel app on my phone.
Which is weather.com.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, for lack of anything else to have, I only go there for the radar. I don't go there for predictions. I just go for what's happening on the radar right now, so.
No, well, I'm always looking ahead. I'm looking for, okay, are we going to get flooded out? I'm hypersensitive in that sense.
We've been through it. So, of course, we've been through 2 hurricanes that have come close to devastating this town. It's Ike and Harvey. And, I mean, my gosh, did Houston bounce back. But those, Harvey scrubbed it level to the ground with wind. I mean, Ike did, and whereas Harvey drowned us.
Well, Ike and Rita is those 2 hurricanes that
I don't think Rita did anything to us. I don't think it
evacuation.
Came close.
Mass evacuation.
Yeah, but that didn't hurt Houston as a city. But
no, but it did. A lot of people got stuck on roads. And
yeah, but that's not the worst thing that's ever going to happen to in your life. Anyway, moving on, because we're talking about privacy and whatnot.
Don't deny my feelings over here.
Well, hurry up and get them out. What are you eating that looks weird?
It's the rest of my Big Mac from today.
Oh, God. Anyway, because, I talk about how much I love DuckDuckGo because it cares about your privacy. Well, and you brought up Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it says, Facebook keeps asking for our trust even as it loses control of our data. And this is on, TheVerge.com. We've had a week's worth of events that kind of serves to undermine Facebook's credibility. Says the good news about the data breach for Facebook, it affected fewer people than they thought it did. Whoop-de-doo. The bad news is the types of data that was taken, was quite personal, and it could have bad consequences for 14 million people.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what information that would be. They had a press conference about it, and hackers access basic contact information like name, email, or phone number, but you can get that without hacking, can't you?
Name, email, and phone number?
And you just Google that crap, can't you? Sometimes?
I don't know. Can you Google your...
14 million accounts of additional information, including gender, religion, location, device information. Most recent searches, would that be searches through Facebook?
I guess, yeah.
Because, what else are you looking for Facebook than other Facebook people? They said, okay, we take these incidents really, really seriously. And I'm taking that to mean like cross my heart, hope to die. You can check to see if your account was affected. They have a link for you to follow. Facebook does. So you will need to be on the guard for...
You should do a Google search of Surlana. There's images. There's images there of you.
Yeah, but it's not me.
Well, there's the cat. There's the picture you did of the Pet Shop Boys. There's this picture you did.
Oh, that's my
of me
deviant art
at Comic Palooza. There's a picture of me by the astronaut blow up thing.
See, it's got nothing to do with me personally, really.
It is connected to you. I guess you posted these pictures.
Mm-hmm. If your password was stolen because of this, of course, you've got to change your password. and the damage was done. You move on. But if you're identifying personal information stolen, there's nothing you can do about that. It's just going to haunt you the rest of your life. So it's not really, comforting, Facebook. So some reporters have called on Facebook to offer free credit monitoring to breach victims. So that's how bad it can get. I've just really had it with them, Like I said, I'd leave it if I could, but there's so much tied up in Facebook with my life, Can't do it.
And I think there's many of those that are out there that they're so tied to Facebook, it's hard for them to leave too.
Mm-hmm. Because, like me, they have some slightly older family members. Like, they know how to do Facebook, and that's what they can do. I don't have permission to share some stories I just got told over the phone yesterday. Oh my gosh, they're amazing, because I don't want it to look bad for that person, but it's just it's an illustration of how times have changed, and not everybody has changed with the times. I wish I could tell you about it. I'd have to get permission, but
it is pretty funny.
I told you over the phone, and it was the first time I'd heard you really laugh about something like that.
Are you from the past?
Other local-ish news with Houston. If you do have young kids in the room, put your hands over their ears for a second. This is sort of PG-13/R-rated topic. All right? Just a little warning there. So our mayor of Houston says, no, we will not have a robot brothel. So one of the objections is an anti-trafficking charity said sex doll brothel would reinforce the dehumanized act of purchasing sex. I thought of it in a whole different way.
How did you think of it?
I didn't even think about that aspect they just said. I was thinking, maybe that would take these gross deviants and give them a place to do that without hurting a real person, get it out of their system, and get them off the streets harassing real women.
That really kind of opens up an interesting topic here, is that would someone, and I hate to even apply it to our situation, if somebody went to a brothel like that.
A robot, sex doll brothel. They say robot, but I don't know if it's actually robots, but just a sex doll.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they do anything with the doll, if they actually talk or move.
They talk and they move and interact. The thing is trying to put AI with these robots or mannequins, if you will, or whatever.
They said you would theoretically you could have gone in there and paid $60 for time with the lifelike doll.
Mm-hmm.
But our mayor, Sylvester Turner, said it's not the sort of business people want in the city, after plans sparked an outcry among residents and community groups. So we're just very moral down here, The Love Dolls brothel is the brainchild of Yuval Gavriel, not Gabrielle, the owner of the Canada-based Kinky Dolls. Gavriel already runs one of these brothels in Toronto, which is customers try before you buy. These dolls are made of silicone. They heat up. They're worth between $2,000 and $5,000.
They're not cheap.
So they prefer to use the term warehouse instead of brothel. The owner says he aims to set up 10 other outlets across the U.S. by 2020. Gavriel said that he runs a showroom where people can rent dolls. I mean, I've heard and seen, there's like documentaries about these dolls. But it's not the sort of business we advertise for or we seek to attract, our mayor said, or quite frankly, from my point of view, the the sort of business I want in the city of Houston. He vowed to investigate the town's ordinances to ensure public health and safety was protected. He says, I'm not trying to be the moral police, but I am charged with the health and safety of people in our city. So I don't get that connection with that statement to dolls. I mean, unless you're wondering, how do they clean these things after each use?
Are they going to commit armed robbery or?
Well, I shouldn't even mention that here. I can speculate how they clean it. They give you a
power washer.
No, they give you a part, and you probably put that in where it goes, and that's yours. You know what I'm saying?
Safety deposit box that comes in and out of the doll?
Yeah, a reusable hoo-ha.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As I do want to make sure the ordinance came into existence in the 1990s and is applicable to things that are taking place today. Change.org petition was started, and the local anti-sex trafficking charity has garnered 9,000 signatures, I guess, to keep this out of Houston. They do have these things in Europe, of course, France and Germany.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. So
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't have it in the red district of, what is it, like Denmark? You know, in Denmark,
anything goes.
You know, they have like windows where
you can see stuff.
You could see the ladies. You know, they're advertising their goods, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that they're available. And
I wonder if that'd be a good female punk band name, Silicone Hoo Ha.
All right then.
I got another one, but I don't know if I got enough time before break.
Go ahead.
Houston couple creates good boy beer for dogs.
Who's a good boy?
Who's a good drunk boy? This article's posted. The pair of Houston bar owners started brewing beer for their ailing canine a few years ago, are now selling good boy dog beer at more than 20 locations. Megan and Steve Long, so they learned how to brew beer for dogs, does not contain alcohol. When their Rottweiler mix, Rocky, started having digestion problems. Because we get a lot of the same equipment the brewery does, we just skip the fermentation process. The beer has got all natural ingredients, including vegetables, meat, and turmeric. Our favorite, Spaceboy and I love turmeric. It's a spice known to aid digestion in canines. So next time you have a problem, Spaceboy, I'm going to give you soup laced with turmeric.
Well, turmeric is also good for other health reasons too. But
it's a Good Boy Dog Beer Company. It has 20 products available at 20 dog-friendly bars and restaurants here in Houston, and they can also ship their products in cans. Their beer comes in 3 varieties: IPA Lot in the Yard, Session Squirrel, and Mailman Malt Liquor. I just thought that was funny.
Interesting. All right. Hey, Surlana, that means it's the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and take that break. We'll be right back after this, ladies and gentlemen.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SVU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Get your game on Spaceboy Universe. Level up with Spaceboy Universe. No quarters, no problems. Play it at Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
I want to give a few shout-outs. I just want to say hello to Miss Michelle. Sorry that I freaked the cat out. You know what I mean?
What did you do?
When I played the MiG air horn sound.
Yeah. I hate that thing, too.
So it freaked her cat out, but just wanted to shout out to Miss Michelle. Glad you could come. Catalina, nice to see you. Dino's in the house, and I'm not talking about the Noel's dog, Dino. Although it's always funny that I hear the adventures of Dino the dog, and what a cute Dachshund he is. And let's see, Jean Viteau is out in there. Boom in the house. So yes, K28. I had to put that one in because, you know, if I don't mention K28, he thinks I'm neglecting him. And
some people are so needy.
So there you go. All right, Surlana.
Hang on, I've
lost
my tab on him. Okay.
Oh, before we go further,
that's fine.
I just want to bring up, you know, we constantly promote the YouTube site, and I encourage all the space cadets to go over there and, you know, if you hear one, you know, on the show, if you like the show or whatever comments you might have, go ahead and comment on the YouTube channel, you know, when the show comes up. And, you know, we love to read your comments and anything out there. It's always awesome. So go to YouTube, Spaceboy Universe, and definitely, you need to subscribe to become a subscriber. And go ahead and when you see a show that you like in particular, go ahead and like it, comment it on it, and we'd like to get your feedback on some of the shows. So there you go. All right, Surlana. Enough of my
And as
rant.
usual, if that's too much trouble, we really appreciate you doing that. If you do that, go do that. Everything he just said. Then go treat yourself to some free music at spaceboymusic.com. That's like your little reward. How about that?
Oh, well, I guess if you really want to.
You should. And I bragged about you this week. Can we mention that?
Yeah.
Can we mention that? Do you want me to mention that?
Yeah.
So you don't sound like you're bragging?
Well, you know, I hate sounding braggadocious, so go ahead.
Oh, congratulations on retirement, Dino.
Oh, yeah.
So you told me a nice little sliver of happy news, because God knows we don't get much of it. Was it Thursday night, Friday night? So back in 2016, you wrote a piece of music for a local actress / producer.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And she came over and y'all collaborated, and we actually had her on the show. Her name is Amanda Diane, if you recall. Mm-hmm. And she's a local actress, director, producer here in Houston. So she was making an independent film called The Cabin, which is a horror film. So I'm guessing things finally have come to fruition. And Spaceboy wrote a song, and it's going to be played during the end credits, if I'm remembering correctly.
Mm-hmm.
It's out there for you to listen to. Is it on? Can we say it's on Spaceboy Music?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's the actual song.
I was just playing in there where you can continue to talk.
Sure. That's why it sounds so strange and disturbing, because it's end credit music to an independent horror film, and it fits perfectly. And that's her. You hear her. I think she plays a witch in the film. I don't know. But that is going to have its premiere, its local premiere, next month, November 27th, probably at the Alamo Draft House in Cinco Ranch, which is a little west and to the south of us. It's a bit of a drive, but we'll make it. It's on a school night, so I don't know what we're going to do being out that late in the middle of the weekday, but we should go. We should absolutely go. I mean, this is the beginning of what I'm hoping is your legacy of music. And of course, you know, you're continuing to work with Jim and Jody Bray on their original productions,
right,
and provide soundtracks for them. I do like that. Dash Lobo. So that's a little bit of good Spaceboy music news. Well, he'll be in his music will be in an independent film. And I think that's just, that is just quite an achievement. That just gives me more things to brag about.
You know, I'm on IDBM, the Internet Movie Database.
Yeah, because this movie's listed on the Internet Movie Database, he's got a credit on there.
Yeah, which is cool.
Can I look that up now? You there now?
You should be. It's under my.
Well, shoot. Let's put that everywhere.
It's not under my.
No.
It's under my real name.
Is it under The Cabin?
Yes.
Ooh, there's so many though.
See, that's why you should look for my name. You do remember my name, right?
Yeah, it's the one I wouldn't take legally.
Yeah, don't get me started on that. Did you find it already?
No.
It's out there.
I did not find it.
You're going by my, not Jim.
Mm-hmm. Sure, Amanda, Diane, maybe. Put her in Amanda.
Hey, you've tuned into.
There she is. Let's
Google
see.
search.
There we go. I found it under. If you go to look under her name, The Cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Director Joe Grasoffi, we've also interviewed. Mm-hmm. Let's see, full cast. All right, there's 3 people. Music by Chris Bork. That's not you. Sound department Chris Borok. That's not you. There you are. Music department. Mm-hmm. James M. Guerrero, composer, additional music. Well, I'm just going to post this everywhere. Anyway, so yeah, I could not be more thrilled for you or happy. At least there's a sliver of happiness out there.
I'm
for
legit.
Us.
But yeah, that's pretty exciting. And like Surlana has mentioned, I am working with The Outer Rim, and I can't wait for the trailer to come out because the trailer part's done. But I'm not allowed to promote it yet.
They gotta
of Sweepers, which is one of the anthology series that The Outer Rim is producing, and I've done music for, and I'm pretty excited by it because I've never really scored something like this before.
The feedback's been positive from the cast, right?
Oh yeah. The director has been very excited, and of course Jim and Jody are always supportive. Which once this is done, I guess I'll be shifting gears, and they've got theirs that they're doing called Challenger, and it's going to be fun. Jody plays Captain Cage in this show that they're doing, but it's all a part of the same universe, and so I look forward to when that is completed, and I can tell you, hey, it's out, and the music's going to be out there, and
so good things happening for you.
Fun stuff.
I'm living through you vicariously because I've got no hope or prospects.
And here's that time where you need to take your antidepressant pills, people.
Oh, it's okay. It's my own fault. I'm just going to wallow in mediocrity like most people. So there you go. In other news, security camera records man being chased by a fast chicken.
Okay.
In Indiana, there's a security footage on what looks like just maybe somebody's house. I don't know. Yeah. Security camera captured video of a strange chase between a man and a chicken that appears to be unusually fast. Boaz Marbach tweeted video from the security camera at his job in Fort Wayne, Indiana, shows Marbach himself fleeing from a chicken, chasing him with an unexpected speed. We have a chicken at work, and it loves attacking me when I let it out. He said the chicken can move with surprising speed. He goes, I swear it's faster than it looks. The way he puts it is like he's being harassed by this chicken. I just had to share that with you because this is news, that's the kind of news I enjoy. I really enjoy that type of thing. I just wanted to share that with you. Now, and in other news that's more
Somber.
Things you care about, Spaceboy. Maybe.
Try me.
Picard. Will Wheaton wants Wesley Crusher to return in a Star Trek series.
You know, it would be interesting if he did, you know.
Guess, given where he ended up like transforming to this other level of you know, like as far as humanity could get with our own brain.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, let me see what's pinging there.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, I'm going to close that.
You're being pinged.
Yeah, so Wheaton hopes to get a return as Wesley Crusher with Picard's new series starring Patrick Stewart after the success of Star Trek Discovery, which I'm oblivious to. I didn't know it was a success. You know. So there'll be a short... CBS All Access will feature several Trek shorts built around various Discovery characters, which I personally don't care about. So, but the biggest new Trek series coming up is one centered on Picard, which I might actually watch. Triumphantly returning to the captain's chair, but now the question is, will any other TNG characters come back? So I don't know what the plans for Picard is. Is this after TNG? Is this after the movies?
It sets place 20 years after Insurrection.
Okay. So
at this point,
he would not have the same crew.
Probably not, and
he'd be on a different ship.
In fact, he might not even be on a ship. It might be
just
like
Adventures of Picard walking down the street.
Ambassador Picard, you know, or you know.
Admiral.
But what I've heard
Janeway
is...
become an admiral?
Yes, when she gets back from the Delta Quadrant.
Mm-hmm.
What I've heard of the character is not to expect, you know, because you're talking about 20 years that have gone from Insurrection to now.
They've probably run out of alphabet letters to tack on to 1701.
Well, if you judge anything by like the ending of Star Trek TNG, where it shows Picard in the future, I guess on the
continuity is going to be a thing.
The plantation of his
vineyard.
His vineyard. Wrong words.
Yeah, French vineyard.
The French vineyard, taking care of the vineyard.
He lives in France. He has a French name, but he has an English accent. Okay, why not? So they're thinking, audience. Wheaton discussed the new Picard series and possibly he himself might return as Wesley Crusher. He expressed excitement that Picard is back in the timeline established by TNG and DS9, though he admitted he has a personal bias because that's the timeline he appeared in. Wheaton talked about whether or not he might appear on the show, but didn't sound optimistic about his chances. So it's something he wants to do, not something they approached him about, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying he's not the only one who expressed interest in joining Picard's series. James McAvoy, who of course played the younger Stewart as Charles Xavier, he'd be willing to appear as a younger version of Picard. Apparently, James McAvoy loves being a young Patrick Stewart.
Well, he's done it in the current version of X-Men.
With CBS reportedly planning multiple seasons of their Picard Trek series, McAvoy and Wheaton might get their wish. But would Trek fans be thrilled to see Wheaton? If he comes back as that newly ascended, transformed version, and he's not a snotty a-hole about it, yeah, that could be cool. If he comes back to visit, like, hey, dude, what's up? You know, type of thing. Because he saved Picard's life one time, remember? They were trapped on that planet, and they were in that cave where the water was being guarded by some force field.
What I thought was interesting was that Wesley was at the wedding of Riker and Troy. Of course, we know where they ended up.
They ended up on Titan,
which is a ship.
And I've read all but one of those books.
Riker is the captain of the ship. That's very It's funny. Very alien diversified.
Yes. I read the books, and again, I've said this is the thing about reading books. There's no limit, there's no budget limit on imagination. So you can write things like that. In fact, that girl, Melora, who comes from a planet where there's little to no gravity, they made her a room, a star chart navigational room where there's no gravity, so she can work in there, and that's on Titan, on Riker ship. And Troy is there, but she's not in charge of anything. Like, I don't think she's there in official. She's just there as the wife, and maybe she provides some guidance to guidance counselors, but she's not the official guidance counselor. He has a number one that's a woman. The ship becomes somewhat sentient.
Isn't the woman that is his first in command the same one that came aboard the Enterprise?
I think it is.
During the Borg?
Yeah. Shelby. I'm not sure. I have to check that. But really fascinating book, and I think there is a clue in one of the Titan books as to where the Borg came from.
Also, another interesting character that's on the ship with them is Tuvok.
And his wife. This time he brings his wife. It's like, I will not be separated from her again. And his wife ends up finding her purpose there. She's like, she didn't come on board with a job. They didn't give her anything. That's just a wife. But she ends up finding some satisfaction in doing some actual work on the ship. So it's a really enjoyable series. But let me tell you what. When you read a Star Trek book, and I've read, let's say, more than 5, it is dense. I saw words I've never seen before, and it's not because they made them up. They're scientific and technological. I had to go look them up, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but that's somewhat rare for me to have to go look up the meaning of a word I don't know, because I've been reading a long time. But there's another series of books that I want to read that take place after the Dominion War and after Janeway comes back from the Delta Quadrant. There's one giant multi-quadrant battle of the Borg where they no longer assimilate, they just annihilate. So I think that's interesting. But back to Wesley Crusher, it says, not everybody embraced Wesley Crusher when he was on TV the first time. They're saying it was just a cheesy way for Roddenberry to write himself into the series, because Wesley always embodied the ideas of Gene Roddenberry, how he saw himself as an idealistic young man. And many were happy when he got written out of the show after season 4, because Wheaton decided to leave. And he regretted it. There's a long list of people who they'd like to see back on Picard's show. Do you still have CBS All Access, or did you give it up?
No, I have it. It's through Amazon.
But this show won't even air until 2020, and I could be dead by then.
This is all a part of the Les Moonbutts plan to bring you content. As I've been doing some research on Star Trek in general, as I like to do, on my spare free time, I love doing content information on Star Trek. But the whole reason that Star Trek Enterprise got canceled was because of him. He did not know the difference between Star Trek and Star Wars.
Moonves?
Yes.
So it was airing on CBS?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he's an idiot.
But, he was one of the main reasons that, the show was finally catching its stride, and then all of a sudden, bam, there was cancellation. I always like to dream that it got canceled because of the damn music.
Ooh, you said the D word.
The music intro for the show.
Being so wussy.
It's been a long time.
Oh, God, I hate that thing. I hate that thing. I hate that crappy soundtrack.
And only to find out that was a song in Patch Adams. I know. They couldn't even make an original song.
So I saw the trailer for Aquaman, like the latest one.
What'd you think of that?
Well, is it me or is the guy playing Aquaman? I mean, Jason Momoa, I know him, but the character he's playing, isn't he sort of a goober?
How is he a goober?
He just seems goofy to me.
You mean like the scene where, they're talking about putting water on that thing to
He seems goofy.
Find some kind of clue to Atlantis?
Not that that's bad. I thought he was more,
Well,
I'd each his own.
I don't know. I guess it makes the tough guy a little vulnerable and funny, and that he could be funny, like
Thor.
Like Thor, exactly.
That was such an enjoyable movie, Thor Ragnarok. I may have to go watch it again.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it a little bit today, but the streaming thing wasn't working.
Yeah, our cable connection went wonky for a little bit, didn't it?
Yes. I love when the Immigrant song comes on and Thor is about to kick butt.
Yeah. So I didn't know, not that I care, that's probably why I didn't know, they're going to remake Pet Sematary.
Mm-hmm.
So, but can you imagine with all the technology and the things we have now, that could be a really dark film and it could be scary. So they've released some of the images of the remake. This cat is really freaky looking that they've got. It just looks like a wet cat. It doesn't have blood or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But, they made this movie. The novel came out. This is a Stephen King novel. The novel came out in 1983, and they first adapted it as a film in 89. Then there was a sequel called Pet Sematary 2, T-O-O, in 92. Which I don't know if I saw that one. There's been some adaptation success recently with like It. Mm-hmm. That was a success. So they've proved you can remake a movie and get it right if you just freaking know what you're doing and care. So some of the still images, the photos, this cat on the road looks pretty strange. Although that's just a look cats do. Having had a cat for a long time, we're on our second cat. I'm on my second cat.
I'm on my... Well,
this is your first cat.
This is the first cat I've owned, yes. Joint custody.
Joint custody. So, I don't know. I'm kind of interested in this. I might watch it. I'm not into horror, but this doesn't look like it's scary to me, Undead pets.
Well, that Pet Sematary has a Star Trek connection.
Yeah.
Denise Crosby was in... Played the mother.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't crazy about Wesley's character, but I could deal with it because they didn't feature him much. But I did not care for Tasha Yar. I'm like, get this gal off my show. And then they did. So it's like somebody heard me.
That was a major bummer when she was killed off.
Yeah, it was kind of in a dumb way, but I was like, well, that's what you get for being annoying.
By the tar monster.
Yeah.
Monster of the week.
Nasty goo. And then I saw the trailer for, is it just called Sabrina?
Oh, yeah, Sabrina.
On Netflix. I'm guessing this is based on a comic book novel that came first. Well, you may be familiar with Sabrina the Teenage Witch from the ABC Family series where they packaged it all up and made witchcraft look more family-friendly and goofy. Well, it's being redone on Netflix as an original series, and it is dark and freaky. And I watched it, and I was like, ugh. So I'm like, I don't think I'll have anything to do with that. So it's just disturbing to look at.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's that. So, who was I going to tell you? All right, check this out. Employees at a Hawaii animal hospital said they received an influx of mysterious phone calls that turned out to be the work of a mischievous gecko. Claire Simone, a director of the Kikai Ola Marine Mammal Center, said she first became aware of this issue when she received 9 phone calls in 15 minutes. She quickly drove to the hospital where the calls originated to see if there was an emergency. She arrived to find other hospital employees had also received mysterious calls. She said she contacted the Hawaiian Telecom company, and they confirmed there had been a bazillion calls originating from the hospital but could not explain them. The hospital director eventually was able to snap a photo of the culprit. A gecko climbing on the phone was making calls with his tiny gecko feet. And there's a picture of it on the phone. It's one of those kind of like a Cisco phone where it has a display, like LCD display. I'm like, oh, that's just cute. So, thought you'd enjoy that. You got nothing over there?
No, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Apparently, I was trying to update the IMDb page.
You have to have a login to do that. Do you have one?
I do. Apparently, I just found out it's an Amazon company.
IMDb? Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
But anyway, there's nothing better than adding a picture and more, wanted to add the sweepers thing.
You should do that before that premiere comes out, because what if people are like, oh, I got to get Spaceboy or James Guerrero to do our soundtrack. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at odd news, by the way, in case you're wondering what I'm doing. Semi crash covers California highway in grape pulp.
Grape pulp?
Grape pulp. This happened yesterday, I guess. Yeah, on the 12th. So traffic was all tangled up Friday morning when a semi overturned and spilled its load of grape pulp onto the roadway. It happened just before 2:30 a.m., so I can't imagine how bad that would be at 2:30 a.m. It's on Interstate 5, near the interchange in Flag City. It was grape pulp. Delays during the cleanup efforts. Everybody was okay. No major injuries, and nobody died, so that's good. But it smelled good on the road. Go sneeze.
That's you.
I've been doing that a lot. I sneezed at least 8 times today. Unaccompanied turtle spotted riding subway train. Is this illegal for turtles to be unattended on a subway? A surprise passenger on a Tokyo subway train captured this video. He encountered a slightly unusual fellow commuter, a train riding turtle.
Well, they got to get somewhere fast. They're not going to get there.
There's loose turtle crawling around, no signs of companion. When I got off the train, one of the passengers said that the turtle on board, he was so relaxed and freely walking until gradually everyone began to notice him and he became a star. We all laughed along with each other and watched the turtle walk around, took pictures of him. The turtle was okay. He just wanted to roam free, cheerfully along the aisle and under the bench. The railway staff took the turtle off the train, and later they're trying to find its owner. So, maybe it's got a happy ending. As I said before, this show is not prepped. There was no time for research this week. Mm-hmm. I've been alternately sick or busy. So that's why this feels like
discombobulated.
Yeah, because I'm trying to find content in real time. And I'm looking at, what was that noise?
Probably the cat getting in the box.
Was that what that is?
Probably.
Oh my gosh, I thought the cat had learned how to teleport earlier today. She was in the box that I have that's kind of in front of my recliner, and it's just an Amazon box, and it's got that brown paper, packing paper. And she's been hanging out there alternately for about a few months. So she's in the box. I get up and I go get a drink in the kitchen, and I come back and she's in a box in the foyer of the front door. And I'm like, did she just teleport from that box to that box? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I guess she's just right out of view where I can't see her. I thought I closed the door, though.
Oh, the door is wide open.
Oh, that was your problem. That you must have done that.
I like that. Blame me.
I'm looking for more stuff to talk about. Man who lived as a goat says it was a special kind of time.
Okay.
I'm on independent.co.uk. Thomas Thwaites, man who lived as a goat, explains why and says it was a special kind of time. Thomas Thwaites used prosthetic limbs and ended up walking in a field with the animals.
Yeah, I've seen video of it.
Known as Goat Man. He wrote a book called How to Take a Holiday from Being a Human. He's been describing how he was so stressed with his daily life, he decided to live as a goat. Known as Goat Man, Thomas has written about his unusual lifestyle in his book. He spoke to BBC Radio 4. He's a 34-year-old man, said he made a decision after dog-sitting his niece's happy, joyous dog. He thought, wouldn't it be nice to have a break from all this stress? He remembered thinking as a child that if he were a cat, he wouldn't have to go to school. But rather than just letting my childish wishes go, I wrote to the Wellcome Trust, and they gave me a small arts award, which I called the Bluff. And so basically, he got a grant to do this, like an artist would get a grant to create. And I'm like, oh, come on. It became an investigation on how close we can come to fulfilling this ancient human dream. I did a bit of research, and you can easily find all the cave paintings of half human, half beast. So he went through a number of prototypes for his limbs. So I guess he walked around on all fours, quote unquote. He went to a goat farm on the Alps, had some prosthetics made by a doctor at a university in a prosthetics clinic. So this wasn't just some wingnut. He thought it out, got a grant for it. After being inspired by Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, where Arthur Dent crash lands on a primitive planet and is unable to build a toaster replicating his modern world, he set out just to do that. So, yeah, he took this project on for 9 months. It took him 1,200 pounds to complete. Why not?
All right. Goat noise has been satisfied for K28. And when we come back, we'll have more interesting topics of what we've explored through the universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt and Bot vs. Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot. You're terminated. Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production.
You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if the music stopped or what, but I think Surlana, you want to do this live as far as call setting, getting that going.
Do you want me to?
Why wouldn't I want you to? Dino wants to call in. I'm sure if Dino wants to call in, I'm sure Beverly wants to call in.
Yeah. Well, that means y'all have to hear everything that goes on when I do that because I have to connect it through Skype and, blah, blah, blah.
Let's go ahead and do it.
I have to log in over here.
Mm-hmm. And we might mute you for a sec. Mute the sounds here for a second.
I need a piece of paper. All right. Let's see. You're not going to talk well.
Oh, well, sorry. I realized that I'm supposed to fill the air.
Remember how to run Skype. Oh, jeez.
Hopefully the Skype number's still good.
Yeah, I can't find it. That's the thing.
What, the 713-701?
No. I'm trying to bring Skype to connect to that thing.
I understand.
And there's a number, and I don't see the number, so how do I dial? I don't even see the thing where you dial.
What, on Skype?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're the Skype. I mean, you do that, and I mean, that's like your baby over there.
Yeah, but if weeks go by where we've not used this, I don't remember things.
And you don't write notes now?
You wouldn't think it'd be this hard.
You used to be a tech like me.
I used to do tech support, and I got tired of people moaning and whining and complaining, so I quit doing it.
I mean, I don't understand why you don't have like a notebook. Like my spiral notebook I keep over here.
Because I can't keep anything. Okay, I'm going to have to Google how to dial on Skype. I'm not seeing it. How do I get the dial pad?
Tonight's Angst is brought to you by Dino.
Seriously, where is the thing that lets you just call? There's a little dial pad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where is it? It's gone.
I don't know, babe. Maybe you should restart the program and then try it again. So a good friend of the show, Lori Brooks, posted on Facebook that she was thinking about doing that DNA thing to see where your ancestors lie. And, I was kind of a big proponent of doing it myself, but I was kind of concerned out of the fact of the things I've heard about, them selling your DNA.
Thank you for
yes.
calling Call-In Studios
Privacy.
host and call screener line. Please enter your show number and press pound.
So you're getting to hear the behind-the-scenes stuff that you don't normally hear.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number.
No. That's just in case somebody can figure it out from the dial tone.
If they can, that's pretty good because... But anyway...
That was an invalid PIN for Spoon Network. Please
Spoon
re-enter
Network.
your 6-digit PIN. If you think... Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the Call-In Studio web interface.
All right, we can now receive calls. And that number is what, Spaceboy? Do you know it?
Yes, I do. It's 833-202-7286.
Let's try that again. 833-202-7286 or SBUN. There you go. And I will put it in the chat. So we do have our loyals in the chat there. 286. There you go. Like I said, this is unprepared, unrehearsed, unresearched. Just the show is like off the cuff, off the fly. If you want to call in and talk, put us out of our misery, that's cool. I'm going to put this over here so I can watch. Yeah, you normally wouldn't hear us. We'd have all that set up and connected before we start a show. So you're not subjected to that, all that call-in. No, we lost that number. We lost it. 844. If you don't pay up by a certain time, you'll lose your toll number, and then you have to get a new one. That's why it keeps changing.
The 844 previous number? Oh,
it's 833 now.
Was a space cadet asking about that, or?
Yeah. Dino's like, it's still 844. I'm like, well, it changed because we lost that number.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you let your account amount lapse in this program, you lose your toll-free number, and you have to get assigned a new one. You have to pick a new one. So that's why it's different. There is no 844 number. That number is gone. The number you need to call is on Spaceboy Universe.
833-202-7286. And if you're seeing the 844 number somewhere, let Surlana know, because she's the webmaster.
Yeah, you should not be seeing that. Every page should have the number to call in at the top right on spaceboyuniverse.com. It should be 833-202-7286. If you see a different number, please report that to Surlana at spaceboyuniverse.com so I can get rid of it. And here we have our first call. Thank God.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, Dino.
Hey.
Dino. I have not been able to listen so much the last few weeks because during the summer I get real busy and it's light, and sometimes I don't get in soon enough, on a Saturday night to listen. But you'll hear more of me.
Plus, aren't you retired now, right?
I'll hear more of you. Yeah. I decided this summer to take it. It's partial retirement. It's not really free money, because after you get it, I guess I've been told next year they're going to tax me on it. That's great, huh?
I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, you earn it for 40 years, and then they tax you on it as like it's extra income when you put away money. But they say, well, we didn't tax you on it when you put it away. Well, yeah, but inflation and all, it doesn't buy as much either.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I don't want to complain tonight. I know you and all of us are all going through certain things. But all I can tell to you, being a few years older than you folks, is keep true to your heart, and you never, the wheel's going to keep spinning. The painted ponies are going to go up and down on the merry-go-round. But you just keep to yourself, and you will survive any crisis to come. That's all I can say, I still go through them. I retired, and then all these expenses came up this summer, so go figure, So everything can be unexpected. You just ride it out. Ride the wave, get good, make sure you have a good board, and ride it.
There's nothing else you can do other than just get through it.
Yeah, and I understand. I've been through some dark times, and it seems to happen over and over, but I appreciate how you guys sacrifice to put on this show. I hope it should be cathartic for you, not complaining. I mean, look at you, Surlana. It got you off your fanny there, and you reset up the phone line, and you were all worried about it, but you did it.
Well, I don't know why Skype has to be such a little bleep, bleep, bleep thing. They have got Skype interface so stripped down. It's like, now you have to guess how to use it.
Well, you did it in less than 5 minutes, see? Instead of complaining, you just got her done,
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyway, I wanted to mention today, since it's a round table, that you guys would have really appreciated last weekend. The whole weekend was the Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco. While it is a very crowded event and very hard to get to for parking or taking the bus or whatever, it always has its moments, and we can thank one percenter who died a few short years ago, Warren, who was a hedge fund guy, but he loved bluegrass music, and he put this thing on. It's been 13 years now, and when he died about 3 years ago, he made sure that at least $1 million a year went to continuing the 2.5 day festival. And there's all kinds of acts. I mean, it's not just bluegrass, it's not just country, it's rock. I mean, they've had Robert Plant there. They have Emmylou Harris every year, who closes out the show because Warren was in love with her, and she always closes out on Sunday night. But the reason I bring it up, not just because you're a music fan and a creator, Spaceboy, but there's always some interesting acts. But when I was leaving last Sunday, it was just getting dark. There's like 500,000 people in the park going every which direction, but pretty good mood. People feel safe, and they're exiting the park. And I got to the edge of the park, out by one of the districts there, and several people were looking up at the sky.
Yeah. And
I hadn't looked because, the trees and all. I just wanted to get back to my vehicle that was a half mile away. And I go, what are you guys looking at? And I saw this bright, huge, circular light in the sky that looked like almost a spotlight. There were rays coming out of it. And I said, that's unusual. And people said, I wonder what it is. Well, being a student of UFOs, I wasn't quite sure. I was watching it, and they said, well, it hasn't moved much for the last 4 or 5 minutes. And then we saw a couple of jets or airplanes, the blinking lights go by, and I go, well, it's pretty far out there, I said, because these jets and things are at a lower altitude, according to what we can see. Well, everybody got all excited, and as I was walking up one of the hills to go over a hill to where my car was, some people came out of their houses and they were looking. I go, oh, have you seen that? And then after all this excitement, the one guy he's watching, but he just, a matter of fact, waiting, SpaceX launch from Vandenberg Air Force Base. So everybody got all excited. I didn't get too excited because it was an unusual thing. It looked like a spotlight behind the clouds almost. But it was just too big for a UFO, and it wasn't doing anything. It was just a bright light. Well, that was like the last stage of the rocket. And when I got home, and I went on Facebook and on some of the pages that I'm a member of that include, UFOs and such, there were people saying, I just saw my first UFO. I've been a believer, but and I had to do the same thing. Vandenberg Air Force Base, Vandenberg, SpaceX launch. They had put up a satellite Sunday night, so it was a big bust.
So it makes I was just thinking about what you were saying, how it didn't seem like it was a UFO, or to some it might have been an unidentified object, but it kind of got me thinking another way to desensitize us to the possibility of a UFO actually being out there.
Oh yes,
and
very astute.
Kind of putting the toe in the pool to see, to test the waters, to see if people would panic or what they would think, and so that's what immediately came to my mind when you bring up this topic, because I did see some of the pictures, and it's kind of like, man, that must have been a sight to see.
It really was something, because, I'm a student of astronomy, and I knew it wasn't a planet or anything, and the moon was in a completely other part of the sky and was only a crescent. So it was just very, very unusual. But you know what the interesting thing is? Yes, what you observe could be true, that way to dumb people down almost, or get them acclimatized to things in the sky. But then I would say the majority of the people weren't even looking in the sky. In a big city like that, people, that's the last place they look.
They're buried in their phones.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and there was plenty of that going on when they leave. I don't pull my phone out, but I had a little flashlight, and people were saying, oh, thank you for the light, because there were some people that were on trails through the park and all. And, that's what you can use your cell phone to. If you ever don't have a flashlight, you can use it for a light. But I had my little flashlight. I had my little fanny pack with all my supplies, because I've gone several years to this. And it's just so interesting. As I get older, less and less people I know seem to be there. And yet, thank God for the cell phones, I was able to locate one old friend. And as I went up to where she was located during the daytime, another guy that I went to high school with showed up behind me. It's very strange. Sometimes they estimate could be 500,000 people going to that park. But at any rate.
But overall, did you have a good time, Dino?
Well, yeah. I mean, I try to every year when there's a group I want to see, and I hope someday you'll come out to the Bay Area when it's happening. It always happens the end of September or early October, because you will just love all the, there's like 5 or 6 stages, and the major groups and artists come to the 3 or 4 of the main stages, and while it is crowded, they have great sound system, and I think you as a musician would enjoy some of these groups. If you ever come out sometime, I'll go with you.
That sounds cool.
It's free.
So what else has been going on, Dino? So it's been a while since we've heard or seen you.
Yeah, that's basically it, is that just thought I was going to have a fun summer, and it looked like a new romance was developing, but everything started to fall apart. And if I can't blame astrology, but there are several planets that were retrograde this summer, and a couple of planets in Capricorn, which squares my pleasant Libra personality. So just everything went nuts, and I said, well, I'll have enough to live on and all. And then friends of mine who have retired, tell me, well, yeah, the prices go up faster than you want, but they didn't realize that till years later. It's like as soon as I retired, I had to paint the outside of my house, so I was doing it, and then I threw my shoulder out it, and I guess I'm getting old, and it had to go to a chiropractor, and I couldn't use it for a few days, and couldn't even shift my car, and it's just amazing how the expenses stacked up. And then, I'll get my furnace, free. They're doing a $49 tune-up special if you do it before October. So I thought, they'll vacuum it out. There's nothing wrong. It's a 5-year-old. I put it in new. And sure enough, they found something wrong, but the expense. And then the next thing was, now my Jeep, the clutch is going out, so that's going to be another $1,000 next week. And then I chipped a tooth early in the summer, and a molar, and crown. I've never. That was $1,000. It just amazes me how much money went out but I'm still here. You've just learned to survive it. But I didn't get much of a vacation.
That's kind of like Surlana and I. We had dental work, and they pulled that tooth out for me. It had cracked and got infected, and can't mess around with an infection.
I had an infection too, when old fillings is starting to deteriorate, and so it had gotten through there, and I had an infection. I had to have a root canal. And we just were not financially ready for that.
Yeah.
And we're still just struggling to recover from it.
I went to the dentist,
and I said,
I
saw on Facebook how you guys were going through so much, both of you, the health concerns, but that's why you got to eat right and rest right and do good things for your mental and physical health. Cause
that's not happening. It just isn't happening.
But as you get older, it's going to be tougher. You sound like my old friend.
Well, I'll just curl up and die. It'll be easier.
But no, it's good. So you got to do it before it's infected. But I will recommend to you, there's a thing. It's right out of, guess what, Frisco, Texas, called Carrington Health Discount Plans. It's not insurance. Do you know of it?
No, but I know where Frisco is.
Well, when I didn't have health insurance, I used it. I found it out through my union. But you pay I think it's $20 to join, and it's $120 a year. But you pay monthly, and it's when you go to various dentists or even doctors. Now I have Medicare, but when you go, you have to pay at the time of service, but they give you a discount. So I was using that for my dentist, and I hadn't had it for a few years, and I re-upped and joined this July when this tooth chipped, because you got to do things before infection, because then it just gets more expensive and worse. And I'd never had a crown, and I was shocked. People are, $1,500, $1,600. I go, wait a minute. Just look up online. You should join. It's Carrington, and you get a little card, and then they give you a list of dentists in your area. And I ended up getting my crown for $1,000 instead of $1,400 or $1,500. And he was a great. I got to tell you this. He's a great new dentist. I made him my dentist now. He's not far from where I live now, and he looks like Ilya Kuryakin. David McCallum from Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
And he's a Ukrainian dentist. a young guy. He's got blonde hair. He looks just like Ilya Kuryakin, but he's very good. And I kind of a little skeptical. Oh, so you were trained back in Russia, huh? And he goes, yeah, but when I came to America about 15 years ago, I went through dental school again. And he's the best dentist. And then he showed me, crowns, you have to wait a few days because they send it out to a lab to be performed for you.
Right.
You don't have to do that with this guy. That's what sold me on him. He took me in a back room, and he showed me this machine, $140,000. It's a little mini milling machine. It looks like a big printer.
Yeah.
And they use this new zirconium. He showed me it's about the size of a die, and he takes computer measurements of your tooth after he grinds it and stuff. And then while you wait, I waited about a half hour, and he puts this zirconium thing in the machine, and it's got water spraying and two hands is going bzz, 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 and you come back in a half hour later and it's formed the crown for you while you wait. It's the best. It's the best, and more dentists should be getting that. You don't have to wait. I got it done in one afternoon. So Carrington, I don't know if it's .com. I'll just look them up online, join, and you get a discount. Even there's a discount for prescriptions, a discount for some doctors take it. I really highly recommend it. It'll save you some money.
Well, the only one I found is in Australia. I just Googled it.
No, this is out of Frisco, Texas, right where you guys are. And I know it. A lot of people I know are leaving California for Texas. One of my best friends moved a few months ago. He bought 10 acres near College Park, and he's enjoying Texas. He said it's more livable. And
yes.
He's and he's getting his concealed carry permit. He couldn't have one in California, but he went and passed everything, and he's going to go get a Glock.
Yeah, you have to get it concealed to carry concealed and unconcealed. So you can do both.
That's what he's doing.
Yeah, you can do both.
He says everybody has them in Texas. He's getting a kick out of it. So he went and took the course. He aced the test. And now he's going to qualify for the shooting, and he's going to get it. It's.
I just found it, Dino.
Thing.
It's spelled Careington.
That's it.
That's it.
Frisco, Texas. Yep.
I put that in.
They've been around. Yeah, you guys should join. It'll save you a little money.
Starts at $12.95 per month.
But it's got all. I think they have a cheaper plan. Maybe it's because I had my union or something. But,
yeah.
But the thing is that it's really great. And then you just pick your own dentist. Say, do you take this plan? Mm-hmm. And then you get a discount on everything
the thing is,
dental.
We have health insurance through our jobs. We have dental insurance through our jobs. He's on my dental. I'm on his dental, and it's still not enough to cover anything.
Dental drives you mental. I know these.
That's so
charge
true.
A lot.
That's so true.
Dental drives you mental. I don't like it, and my gums are receding, and I've already lost 2 teeth last year, but I'm in pretty good shape. It's just that the gums, and a friend of mine who was made a good salary for years. I've known him since we were kids. He was a union carpenter, and his dental health was worse than mine because, I don't know, he was always on the job, getting up 5 a.m. But he recently went to Mexico for 3 days, and he gets tooth implants for a third what it costs in America.
Yeah, someone suggested that to me because we live in Houston, going to Matagordos, and they had used a dentist down in Mexico, and I was like close to considering it, but I said, but my Spanish is just not good. It's not solid.
Well, he went to he said he got this clinic, but he got a woman that was a good dentist. He said many of them are trained right here in America, and he said he stayed at a nice hotel for 2 days, and they work on him, and he said it's great. He had it done about 6 months ago. He showed me they did most of the teeth on the bottom, and then he needed bone grafting and all, and they did some, and then he went back just a couple of weeks ago. I haven't seen him, but he had the top done, and he's happy with it. He said,
I just found our
English.
Dentist on this, Dino.
Well, there you go. You've been paying too much. You just join up for whatever the $12.95 a month, and then he'll discount you 20 to 30%, sometimes 40%.
Well, our dentist is good. She's, for all that we never see her, what she does is when she can, she brings the specialists to work in her office with her, so
Very
you don't
good.
pay
That's a good
specialist
thing.
prices. She only sends you out when it's sort of an extreme situation.
Like
Usually when you have to be put out.
Wisdom teeth extraction.
Yeah, if you've got to be put out completely, that's like more like a surgery that with anesthesia.
Yeah.
She sends you
Yeah,
to
I had
someone
it done
else.
years ago.
I just
Well,
found her.
that's what I would do is join that Carrington, and that'll help you a little bit. You know, if you do go to the dentist, even your checkups and all, it's a little cheaper than the cash price. That you don't realize when you
send
have
this link to
insurance,
Spaceboy.
people that have it, how much the dentist is getting paid because you're only doing a copay. Well, this is not a copay, and they keep telling you it's not insurance, but it's helped me through tough times.
You know what it sounds like? You know, it sounds like Aflac, which my dad has, and I have a policy. I have 2 policies on me and Spaceboy. It's just a sort of just in case thing. I have a policy for cancer and a policy for hospitalization. So if either one of us go in the hospital and we stay overnight or more, I would take the bill I get and send it to Aflac, and they will reimburse me up to a certain amount, which I don't know what that is. But that's what my dad bought when back in the 90s. He bought a cancer policy on himself and my mother. He got like the most expensive policy he could, and he just sat there and paid on it. And then they got diagnosed with cancer in the same week. Him with prostate and her with bone cancer. And unfortunately, it paid off like a slot machine. Now, that particular one he got, they don't offer that exact one anymore because it was like the Cadillac policy. It's like probably not as good anymore. But the thing about it is you send in all your bills that pertain to cancer treatment or care or the doctors or anything you do. You send them the bill to show that I went there and I paid this much, and they send you a check, and they don't take taxes out of that check.
Yeah, that I understand. I mean, it's a gamble, you know, like maybe.
Yeah, it
someone
is a
older,
gamble. It's like you're betting
because,
you might
because
get
you're,
cancer.
They're gambling that you won't get sick or you won't have to file anything, so they can make money off you. And if you buy it, you're gambling as the buyee, you know, that something might happen and then it'll pay me off.
Well,
But
given
again, Carrington is just a cash discount. It's not any kind of, they don't pay you anything.
No.
But when you pay when you leave, you see the difference, because I would ask my dentist that I used to have, well, how much would this cost, like, for my biannual checkup and scraping? Well, it would be, you know, $150 to $190, but when I leave, when they do the exam, of course the exam is kind of phony, but it's $120. But I went in this time with the new dentist, and because I had just been in a couple of months ago and he saw I didn't have any cancer in my mouth, he had a really great specialist that did all the cleaning and the sonic cleaning, and she had great equipment. Like, this guy has the latest equipment, and it only cost me $82 with the discount plan.
Yeah, we do have our, you know, I've tried different dental insurance offered through my work, and my dentist said, well, you know, they're all really crappy, but they do pay for the cleaning and the x-rays. So I don't have to pay for the, you know, the annual checkup. I don't have to pay for that, but everything else is just horrible. And
how much do you pay a year for that coverage?
I don't recall.
How much per month?
It's not much. Anytime I add someone, like I've added Spaceboy to my coverage, it goes up a little bit. But I don't recall if it was more than $40 a month. I probably wouldn't have bothered with it. So it's you know, it's through the state of Texas, and I have teachers' retirement through the state of Texas, which is very good actually. So.
Okay, well, work it out. But I just thought I'd suggest that because I know those surprise dental things can really.
Well, let me tell you, Dito. Even if they only knocked off $30, it would probably be worth it. I will definitely look into that. Probably not tonight, but tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a good thing because I even found out. I just went on the Senior Advantage for Kaiser, and then I found out that even they kind of have a discount plan, but I don't know if it's any better than the Carrington. But anyway, you got to search. This is enrollment month. I can't believe I'm as old as I am, and now I can switch plans this month. And it just, I hate to think about it. I'm in pretty good health, but boy, when my shoulder went out, I'd never had anything like that. It was so painful. I couldn't move my arm for 3 days. I couldn't drive.
Oh, yeah.
I woke up in the middle of the night, and all the doctors, I went to a regular doctor because I thought, what is this? You know, everybody said, oh, you're having a heart attack. I go, no, it's on the right side. That would be shoulder. And I woke up in the middle of the night just like crying almost. I've never had kind of pain like that.
That was me back in April.
Yeah, I know. You went through something similar. And they just handed me a bunch of pain pills, and I don't do well with pharmaceuticals, so I didn't take them. And then I just was in such a bad mood, but I was looking for some cannabis relief. But then I found that, you know, I couldn't, if it ever happens again, I hear they have certain cannabis things that'll take the pain off just as good as the pharmaceuticals, and they don't mess you up, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's an interesting thing. So I know we were way off subject, but it's open night to night, and I just I love your show, but everybody's got to love Heather Wade. I'm sure you've been listening since she just came back, and it's there've been some wonderful topics, and maybe you can preen some guests from her show once you hear, you know, get their contact information. So. There's been some really good stuff. The only funny thing about all this, I try not to get too spooked about all the subjects we get into, but I've really, really become a Sasquatch Bigfoot believer in the last year. I've been talking to people, and people who have had encounters, and, you know, our old friend Bear, you know, has had a couple of encounters in his life, and I went to this new blog that someone turned me on to called Sasquatch Chronicles, and this guy is just a blog. He doesn't have call-ins or anything, but some of the people he interviews, you know, they're not all just rednecks from the South. I mean, all over the country and even England. I mean, I don't think this is a joke. So the funny thing about it is, even while I don't think I had an encounter, unless something was watching me in Big Sur back in 1982 when I described on your show and other shows when I was hiking with my Indian friend way back from Big Sur. But now, when I'm alone in my house, you know, I'm up on a hill, but I'm in a pretty populous area, even though it's semi-rural. But a couple of times at night, in the middle of the night, I'll hear something out on my deck, like it's knocking over my furniture or something. And yes, I saw one report from many years ago, back in the 80s, where a woman said they were going up the mountain near me, and she was the only one that saw us. She looked up through the sunroof, and this was nighttime. They were going up to a star party, and she swears on this really steep part, and I have driven up there. I know that there was something, she'd never seen a Sasquatch, but it was throwing pebbles on cars going by at nighttime. So now that I read about and meet people that have had this, it's kind of freaking me out that, like, I have all glass sliding doors that when I'm sleeping at night, one of them's crawling up on my deck because now I have an interest in them. Knocking things over.
I tend to believe the more we looked and researched into the Skinwalker Ranch phenomenon, if these things are real, the Sasquatch, I personally believe they're not indigenous. They're not from around here. I think they're part of something larger coming from somewhere else in the multiverse. I don't think it's Chewbacca.
Well, it's interesting because this one guy that does these blogs, he admits something. He said he's seen them a couple of times, and he doesn't think they're all peace and love. But some people have had good experiences. But he said anybody who comes on his blog that tells them they know what Bigfoot is, he always asks, what do you think they are? But anybody that's definite and says they know what they are is full of BS, because we don't know what they are. I've heard all the ideas, but then you have your opinion, and then you go back and hear from when, you know, they don't like to talk about it, but people that are Native American throughout America. I posted something on my Facebook just a few days ago. They all these different tribes have a word for the Bigfoot. So they claim that most of these Indians believe that they have been here since before the Indians were here. And that they're indigenous, and some of the names as translated by some tribes like the Crow and the Sioux and the Cheyenne. One I forget which it is, but one Indian tribe calls them the Scarer, because it scares people. They call it the scare. Others call them elder brother, which implies they've been here a long time. Others call them face man, meaning because they have like the face that they have, the big face. So it's very interesting. And then I know people that are more Christian Bible type people that say, oh no, the Bible describes it. These are the Nephilim. And then you've got the anthropological types that say, oh, these are some kind of offshoot from Cro-Magnon. So I don't know what they are. I have not actually seen one, but there are many. I recommend people on Facebook go to many of the Bigfoot websites. Some of them are less convincing than others, but every so often someone puts up a photograph or a recording, and I no longer laugh at this stuff. I used to think, oh yeah, people up in the big Northwest getting drunk or getting high, but not anymore. They're seen around the world, not only in Nepal. There even have been a couple of people say they're seeing them in England now, and definitely in Canada, because Canada has a lot more wilderness even than America. They're being seen around the world.
Mm-hmm.
In South America, I don't know. I think they're starting to see some. Florida, Pacific Northwest. Even in Texas, where you guys are, there have been a lot of sightings the last couple of years in Texas.
Right.
And a couple of videos, too. So I would look into it. I'd love you guys to do another show on it. It's just a fascinating subject to me. And when you think about it, it's no more strange than people in flying craft landing here, At least it's organic.
True. Well, we'll definitely consider that as a topic. I know that each week we have a thing where, okay, what are we going to do this week? So, definitely keep it under advisement.
I would love it. I think people would too. And I'll just give you, just as a reference, not pushing anybody's agenda, but SasquatchChronicles.com. Listen to a couple of those blogs and just see what goes on. I mean, it's not just some guy in a mask. There are just many different types. Apparently, they say that there are some that have more humanoid features, and they have some that are being seen that are more baboon-like.
Mm-hmm.
And just anecdotally, some of the baboon-like ones tend to be more aggressive. And and then look into the who investigates in our national parks in America. Look into who investigates, who has the authority. Guess what? It's not the local sheriff. It's not the police department, because it's federal property.
It's FBI,
Rangers.
Who won't tell us where the missing people go from that guy's, missing 411.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't trust them.
You can't. And then once in a while, I didn't know this, but when they find someone, they found one guy up in a tree with his clothes ripped off. He was ripped up. He was hanging from a tree 18 feet in the air. And some of these guys that have rifles and all, I think they shoot at him, and that's when they get him. And then they find their rifle with the barrel bent in the middle of the forest somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But they keep quiet about it. I'm telling you, I'm not going to it's supposed to be against the law, but I'm not going to a national park again unless I'm armed. I'm telling you, I don't care if just on a camping trip, I'm bringing, a pistol or something. I'm telling you.
Right.
But then it wouldn't do any good. But I don't want to shoot any of them, and I don't think people should hunt them. But there's just too much evidence that can, there are hoaxers, but go back to the Native Americans that if they trust you and they know you're not going to laugh at them, they'll tell you.
That reminds me of the story about Bugs from Art Bell, who shot supposedly 2 Bigfoots, and Art was the only one that knew where the bodies were buried or something to that effect. And I think that was a pretty fascinating story. And the guy Bugs was worried that he was going to be put in jail for manslaughter, but that story has yet to come out or to be revealed to this date.
Yes,
yeah,
I've heard it. I've heard that, and I heard the replay of that once years ago. And he said, if you can tell me, he says, I don't want to tell anybody, because I don't want to get arrested, but if you can tell me that I did not shoot something that was human-like, then I'll show you. And he died, and his wife supposedly knew where it was, And I even asked Heather about it. I'm going to ask her again. I don't know if Art stashed it away in a safe somewhere, the location of that grave where he buried him. I mean, that's something I'd like to see. No one could be hurt by it at this point because all parties that were involved, both Art Bell and this Bubba, are no longer with us.
Right.
So I would like to see it. Yeah.
It would definitely be interesting.
And if you've heard the recordings of the sounds they make, and they can mimic coyotes and mimic things, and we got to get Bear to call in with his story. I haven't talked. I hope Bear is all right. He had about 5 heart attacks over the summer.
Oh wow!
And and he was in bed, and he's been just told to take it easy. He was calling me a lot. I got to call him. I haven't heard from him in a week or two. But and his poor wife was in a coma at one point this spring, and she got sick with the flu, and she was kind of weak, and then she passed out. And he's just had it, but he'll tell you, he's been open about it. On 2 occasions in his life, he actually visually saw more than one Sasquatch, and he'll tell you about it. He's talked about it on other shows, so we got to get him to call in. At any rate, I will let you go. I know we've gone all around the world here. I'm sure someone else wants to call in. And but do try that. For all our listeners, get some dental discount if you can't afford the insurance. And I'm not being paid. I'm not being reimbursed. It's just that's all I could do to save some money for myself. And I think it worked for me. So I'm telling you.
Always thinking of the good of others, Dino. We recognize that.
Well, and I want to see more pictures of you. I hear you're very svelte now that you're going to start going in muscle building contests. You've lost so much weight.
Well, I'm trying to keep my pants on. It's a struggle. It's since I've lost weight. I've always had this problem recently, and Surlana will tell you, like, we get back from grocery shopping and we got to bring groceries in, and I'm like, why are you hunched over? She's referring to me, and I'm like, trying to keep my pants on. That's what I'm trying to do. And they just...
Sometimes I have to hold his pants while he's trying to get the door open.
Yeah, it's a bizarre situation.
Take all those belts and use a leather punch and put more holes in them.
He's actually not wearing pants right now, so there you go.
Thank you for telling me that.
Professional radio, that's the way to go. That's all right. When I ran for political office, I learned the drill. I would put a tie on, a shirt, and my pants jacket, but I would wear jeans or shorts because they usually had just sitting behind a counter or something.
I've seen a few broadcasters do that on TV where they're wearing jeans and sneakers. So. Oh, yeah, we had a sports guy here that used to wear his sweatpants all the time till he got busted. Well, okay, feel better, Gene, by the way, and let's keep in touch, and I'll talk to you guys off air soon and get into some more detail. And hello, all you listeners. You'll be seeing more of me as we get toward winter because it gets dark early, and I'll come in on Saturday. Cool. Well, we welcome you, Space Cadet.
Okay.
Back to the
flock. And I welcome your music as always. Still enjoying it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that.
All right. Good night.
Good
Have
night.
a good weekend.
Good night, Dino.
Bye.
All right, let's take a break since we blew past our top of the hour break.
Okay.
So we'll be back with more Spaceboy Universe. Don't go anywhere.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SVU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Greetings, Space Cadets. Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy Universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy Universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Surlanus Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Do you want me to?
Yeah. Do we have a caller, Surlana?
Let's see. They've been hanging on for a while.
Okay.
Are you still there, caller, or did you just never hang up?
I'm here.
Hey, Bev.
Wow, that's a long time to hang on the phone.
That's a true space cadet right there.
Hey, I'm not doing anything else.
But hanging out with us, huh?
That's right. I love hanging out with y'all.
Oh, we love hanging out with you too, Bev.
Sorry about the crinkling of paper here.
Although Bob, we don't know. The jury's still out on Bob.
I'm here.
He does the Chewbacca too.
Oh, did you like my Chewbacca?
I just roll my eyes when he does that.
Yeah, I like mine. Yeah, I like yours too.
Do
it, honey.
Yeah, go ahead and do it.
I'm gonna try. I can't do it now.
He's got performance anxiety now. You're giving him a complex.
Yeah, it's just it.
And how's y'all's?
Relax, I can do it.
How's y'all's Dino tonight?
I didn't hear you, SB.
I know you're listening to the delay there. I was saying
I'm moving out.
How is Dino tonight?
Yay, he's moving out. Oh, Dino, he's just as ornery as ever.
I like
Him and
that.
Elliot chase each other through the house.
I did it.
You know, Bev, you need to post some more Dino pictures on Facebook. So, because I love dog pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Bob will have to take some pictures.
Yeah,
of it,
have Bob take some pictures.
The last one was me and him.
Yeah, I like that picture.
He's my bud.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's my buddy too. He's Mommy's baby boy.
So how is the temperature up there in Ohio right now?
Cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, fall has fallen.
We've had the furnace on for how many days now, honey? 2?
2.
Yep.
Actually, I don't think it's kicked in since this morning.
No, it hasn't kicked in since this morning, but we've had it on. It got down, 30? Well, his brother said coming home from work last night that it was 38.
Wow.
That's about 10 or 11 at night.
Yeah. That's cold.
Well, you should laugh when I tell you that it's been nice here. It's been in the 80s.
Yeah.
And
that's fall for Southeast Texas, is the 80s.
It feels good.
Yeah.
I'll give you the raspberry.
Well, we lived in Lakeland, Florida, so we can relate.
Oh, yeah. On Christmas Day, he was out on the riding lawnmower, mowing the lawn in shorts and a tank top.
And had my beer and had to call my brother.
Yeah, that definitely sounds Texas to us, so riding a lawnmower with a beer.
But I missed the snow, though.
Oh.
I didn't.
Well, when you grow up with it, and that's all you know, and you go to somewhere that doesn't have snow, it doesn't seem like Christmas.
Oh,
it did to me.
Well, if you grow up without it, you don't know any better.
Right.
Like
well,
we did.
With us, we grew up with it, so.
I know what Bev's saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's a shock that you feel like you live where Santa Claus is, and then all of a sudden you come down to where the devil lives, and it's like, what? This doesn't feel Christmassy,
Exactly. Yeah, tell us. Oh well, I want to tell Dino to send us that information to Bob on Twitter for the dentist.
I think Surlana.
I found it and I sent it in private message to Spaceboy through Facebook.
We can get you hooked up with that information.
Okay, yeah, because, man, I know I'm going to have a lot of expenses in my dentistry. I got to go. I got a tooth that has fallen off to the gum, and it's been sore the last 2 days. I've been putting aspirin on it.
Yeah, our insurance is great on medical, but as far as dental, but
And I even upgraded mine because I know I'm probably going to have some oral surgery.
Well, she upgrades. It covers 50%, I think, on her dentures.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for mine, I didn't upgrade mine. Mine only cover dentures. So that was about the biggest difference between the two.
Mm-hmm. And I know I'm going to have all my bottom teeth or top teeth pulled, what I have left.
Oh, eventually.
There, now you're not echoing so bad, dear. What'd you do?
I went out on the back porch.
Oh, you're out in the utility room. It's the utility room.
Back porch.
Utility room.
Okay, they don't.
I
They're arguing over
I
where
can
he
fix her
is.
teeth problem, but
Listen to him.
I got pliers and picks. I can do it.
Yeah, that's about how I felt when this tooth was acting up, and I just said, hey, either you pull it or I pull it when I get home.
The only thing I really resented about that is that fact that when you are in dental pain, it's the end of the world, and I am in so much pain. No. Like, the whole root canal thing wasn't the exact same thing, except I didn't have a tooth pulled. That's what
I don't like
upset me about it.
Well, you're upset because I was complaining about being in pain?
Yeah, like, I was not, like, I don't even know what that's like. I've been in the worst dental pain. How do you think I lost this tooth? I lost that tooth. Like, it came out of my head and went away. So...
When that dental nerve is inflamed, I don't care who it is, what it is, there ain't no pain in this world worse than that.
That's right.
It's so hard to live your life
I agree there.
when that goes on. Like, you still have to get up, you still have to go to work, you still have to do everything, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt to talk. I'm like, I don't want to talk to you because it hurts. Well, did you take something for it? Yes. And everything you take over the counter just laughs at that pain. It's like, there's nothing you could take. And the only way to get out of pain is for them to cut the nerve or take the tooth. So,
and Orgel, that's only good for babies.
That doesn't work when you're infected. When you're infected, you've got to get rid of the infection.
Yeah, it helps, but...
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I've been
hear you,
putting
Bob.
aspirin on it. And, man, I don't like the taste when it dissolves.
That's because you're getting, like, I usually, I buy... cherry flavored aspirin because I have to take a low dose of aspirin on a daily basis, and
I take a regular dose, but
I didn't. I felt like
or?
It's for blood pressure and to keep me in line, so I can live longer than
I thought
Surlana
did that.
Our marriage goals are who can outlive the other one first. That's our entire marriage.
I saw this funny video about this lady in a nursing home that was like 108, Surlana?
It was some local news footage from somewhere.
And what was funny about it was that she was like having no.
She didn't give a crap about the interview or the questions. She just wanted to go to sleep.
Take a nap. That's what her...
She didn't care about her party. And she's like 110.
And of course, I looked at Surlana. I said, that's you, right? That's how you're going to be when you're much older. You just don't care. Just get out of my face.
I can picture her as that old lady off of Letterman. If you ever watched Letterman, that one old lady... What the hell is that?
Oh my God!
Sorry, Surlana.
Oh no, it's fine.
Now you see what I go through, Surlana, on a daily basis.
Bev, you do not have to tell me. You know who I'm married to, right? And I mean, y'all can fawn all over Spaceboy if you want. That's fine because surely he needs it. He doesn't get it from me, but you don't gotta live with this man day in and day out. More will be revealed in the coming weeks.
I say the same thing about Bev.
Oh, guess what?
Chicken butt?
What?
You sound like my great nieces and nephews. I'm sorry.
That's because he's only 12 years old, Spaceboy.
9.
9. He's only 9 years old.
I don't remember. No, I haven't told you yet. Was it last week, honey? A week ago, Thursday, that I went to my kidney doctor?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And my kidneys are up to 52% now.
That's good to hear.
In working condition, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've been improving.
Yeah.
That's
well, yeah, 'cause
excellent.
when I left the hospital, what was it? Back in...
Well, she got down to 22%.
Yeah. My last bout of double pneumonia.
And they were dehydrated. And I'd be honest, I didn't think she was going to make it home.
Well, I was...
To me, her people's kidneys getting like that, they're shutting down. It's like, oh, great.
Oh, well,
but thank God it was the opposite.
Well, when they told me, man, when the doctor told me, I broke out and I started bawling.
Aww.
And she felt so bad. And I told her, what happened with my mom. Because my mom had to go on dialysis and they were putting a port in her chest.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the doctor went through the wall of her heart, huh?
All right. Now, what happened was when they were putting the port in, they were doing the procedure, and it punctured the sac around the heart, allowing the heart, basically the heart drowned. So that's the reason for her why that happened to her.
And I told, when the kidney doctor came in, I says, if I have to go through dialysis, you're putting it in my arm. You're not going to go near my chest. But see, he don't want to go through dialysis unless it's a last resort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
As it should be,
I like that.
That is so good to
like
hear,
that.
Bev. We could not be more pleased for you.
Oh.
It's so
I
good to
keep
hear some
poking at
good
her.
news for once in a while. Under all our gloom
Keeping her
and doom over
aggravated.
here.
Yeah, he does aggravate me.
Got to keep you aggravated, keep that blood pressure up.
You have
Well,
Solana
but
shaking
see,
her head
man.
over here.
Well, too, I've always had my blood pressure usually ranges from 90 over 60 to 110 over 60. And, they've been really concerned about that.
Too low?
Because, the kidney doctor said, with low blood pressure, you're not getting enough blood to your kidney.
Right. You got enough to go around.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, and she's always had that low blood pressure. Mine's been the opposite.
Well, see, my mom always had low blood pressure, but after she reached the age of 60, that I am, it went sky high, and she had to go on blood pressure medication.
Well, I'm
Same with
amazed
my mom.
I'm not on blood pressure medication given the aggravation factors that happen in my life.
You're not talking about Spaceboy, are you?
Only in a marginal sense. Most of it is everyday life and just the anxieties I'm trying to deal with. And,
Oh, yeah. And the doctors always tell you have to stay away from stress. Well, how can you do that when you live with stress?
yeah, I still have to go to work. I still have to
six-figure
drive to
income.
work. And, I mean, there's no way to stop it. And I'm just like, how about I just punch you in the face? That'll relieve a lot of stress.
Yeah, exactly.
Then my stress is gone.
You just adding to it saying crap like that. So
Exactly. And it's like, just waking up in the morning is stressful.
Mm-hmm. Then I have to get in a car and drive in Houston traffic to a job. I'm tired of, and then I have to get it back in the car.
I took a break from a lot of things.
I don't see how waking
Because of
up is
that.
stressful because you wake up, it's like, okay, I'm alive, Well, I guess I'm factoring in my competition with Surlana. It's like, hey, I made another day. She didn't kill me in the middle of the night.
Yep, she didn't beat me to death during the night, so I'm good.
Well, he didn't touch my pillow, so
Hey, he didn't beat me to death, but he beat on me.
Well,
he did. He touched my arm the other night, and I thought he was trying to wake me up because he thought the alarm had missed didn't go off or something. But he says, no, I was just stroking your arm to be nice. I said, well, I don't equate that with you being nice. I equate it with you trying to wake me up or get me to stop doing something. I'm so not used to him being nice, you know.
Yeah, I had a buddy of mine. We lived in a trailer, and he come in. We didn't lock the door at the night before, and he woke me up, and I come up off the couch swinging.
I wasn't home, was I, babe?
No. And
I must have been at work.
He's like, what the hell did you do that for? He goes, well, I didn't know it was you.
Who was that? Was
Scott.
Scott, yeah, the jerk. Oh, I'm sorry.
But
don't worry, they're not listening.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Hey, Bev, just a heads up. I sent you an instant message in Facebook in regards to that dental plan.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
When you get a chance, check that, and it should be there.
Oh.
Hopefully they have it in this area.
Yeah, there's a
right
provider look up you can do on there. You put in.
See, with us being on disability, I don't know how that's going to work yet, but we'll check into it.
Cool. Hopefully it works out.
Shoot, what we pay out in insurance, I'm like, I mean, the medical doctor and specialists are great because we have no copay for our regular doctor, and then our specialist is $25.
No, it's 30 or 40. I can't remember what it is, but
no, it's only 25.
No, it's not.
Oh, did it go up?
It's been up for a couple of years.
Oh. Well, I know there's no copay on the regular.
No,
doctor.
family doctor, no.
But this, that's not bad, and it's 80-20 on the regular, doctors and that. But the dental, man, that sucks.
Well, it's comforting to know we're not the only ones who have crappy insurance or having.
Translating for her, Surlana, is it's comforting to know that you're in pain just as much as we are. So,
well, I can relate to Surlana. My last employer, we switched insurers, and half the doctors of the people working there weren't covered that were covered
Yes,
before.
that's what just happened at my job. That just happened at my job.
I can relate.
But it's not just that; it's also
aspirin on me.
People are in our situation where they're not doing great financially, where they're having to struggle paycheck to paycheck. So it's not just us, and it's not anything we did wrong. It's just things just crappy all
it's the
over.
Companies. They're going cheaper, and every time, if you notice, every time, like my place, I worked in a union shop, UAW to be a fact, and every time we got a raise, the company would change or do something to the insurance, would raise the insurance.
Yep, and there we go.
And then the union would raise their dues, of course. And by the time you get a quarter extra an hour, or just a tenth, basically a tenth of what the raise was by the time your final paycheck hit.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's crazy.
It is. And and for senior citizens on Social Security, they have to worry about, do I pay a bill or do I get my medicine? Mm-hmm. And right now we're in that too. We're in that situation. Do I get my?
Yeah, it's a balancing act.
It's like, well, and my lung doctor knows that we're both on disability, so when I go in, he always gives me samples of my inhalers that I need, and that's really nice.
Yeah, well, we've had
because otherwise
times like that where we've been like, who's going to call in sick to work because we can only afford one of us to get gas this week,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah, it's like when Bev went through her thing, her eyes, for cataracts, I had to put that GoFundMe account up because we didn't have the money for her medication, and thank God to Jimmy and everybody, and all, including you, everybody came through. Plus, and we are so grateful on that. But if it wasn't for that, we would have been, head over heels. I don't know how we would have gotten it done.
Mm-hmm. And I was one step away from being blind.
Mm.
So, and, I love everybody out there.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We can't give everybody thanks enough.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. We've been in that situation, too, where we had to get crowdfunded.
Yeah,
that's why we tried to do what we could do. And
exactly. And, it wasn't a lot, but it helped. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
nice
it really did.
Around there, but I think of, I posted, through Twitter and Facebook, and I kept reposting it, and, thank God, we got a good family, that's what I can say.
Yep, we do. Space cadets are the best. In the state or not.
Everybody.
Everybody.
They are indeed. Hey, we're running up to the end of the program.
Okay.
I know it's sad, but there will always be another week. We'll come back and do
we'll
it.
be here.
And it's not like you can't find us. We respond in Facebook to you guys and Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
I
pick on you daily.
Just like he picks on me daily.
Okay, do me a favor.
Like I used to tell people.
I was going to say, do me a favor before
ahead,
y'all leave. Is that, like last time, I tried to record y'all saying, hey, you're listening to Spaceboy Universe. The audio didn't come out well, so go ahead and give me your best, because I'm trying to incorporate y'all into the sound bumpers. So give me your best.
No problem.
Give me your best. Hey, I'm Bob and I'm Bev, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe, or I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
All right, I go first, Bev.
Oh, well, okay, of course.
Let me know when you're ready.
Go ahead. You're all ready to go.
Hey, I'm Bob, and I'm listening to SBU Universe. Please join me, and it's always a great time. Thank you.
Bev?
Okay. Hi, it's Bev Noel, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe. And it's great time, and I love y'all.
Perfect. All right, guys. We'll catch you next week.
We'll try it one more time. Love you guys.
Love you guys so much. We love everybody.
Let us know if that insurance thing works out for you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I've lost the chat window. Oh, there it is.
All right. Okay, Surlana. Let's see. We got a few more minutes. Housekeeping.
Well, I just got a topic idea for the 27th.
Oh.
We should talk about marriage and relationships. And but I'll make it fun.
Okay.
Like signs of a failing marriage.
Just listening to SBU. There you go.
Yeah. I'll think of something. To make it interesting and fun, because the October 30th is our wedding anniversary, so I think it should be appropriate. We'll do our backstory on how we met and all that good stuff, and then maybe we'll talk about relationships in general, and maybe our favorite marriage-related jokes that I've heard from other comedians, things like that. I think that could be fun.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Yeah, why not?
Let's see here. Oh, I didn't put that there. I got to get something quick here. Let's see. Where are you, outro? So as always, just look for our social media and you'll be updated as far as upcoming shows and events related to SBU. Let's see here. Where is it, outro? Come on, I know you're there. Surprised I didn't put that there. All right.
Yeah, this show is just like the most unorganized, unready. I really thought you were going to cancel and just air a rerun, but I was amazed you decided to go on with it.
Well, we've done Russian roulette before, so it is what it is. The show must go on. We're in our new season 3, and like I said before, please, if you're not a subscriber to our YouTube channel, please go to YouTube and become a subscriber and leave a comment or a like on the show that you've just heard, which should be available pretty much after this is done.
5 minutes after.
Yeah. And we would really appreciate any kind of comments or likes. It just helps grow the brand, and we'd love to grow the brand bigger.
If you have ideas for my replacement, that would be great.
Never. I don't think I could work with somebody else other than you.
I bet you could. If you really tried. If you had a sponsor and they were willing to make this your job, they say, but you got to get rid of Surlana and have this as your co-host.
They'll probably say, we need to get rid of Spaceboy, and it'll become Surlana Universe.
I'm going to have my own secret broadcast that I'm not going to tell anybody about.
You'll need to check the domain to see if it's available.
Okay.
Although I think I was looking at domains the other day, and I know that spaceboyandsurlana.com is available.
That's interesting. You should just buy it to keep it, you know. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the cat's out of the bag, so it looks like it's
you got to buy it now. Why'd you say that out loud?
A gold rush to get it.
Why did you say it out loud?
I don't know. I was just having a conversation with you.
You know it's being recorded, right?
Yes, I understand.
And goes out live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Now, somebody's going to buy it and hold it hostage.
Well, they can hold it hostage. You know how long it took me to get spaceboymusic.com?
Years.
Yeah, years.
Years.
And I finally got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's worth it, though, because it's easy to tell people to go there.
Yeah.
Free music at spaceboymusic.com. Free.
Free.
It could not. I'm still looking forward to the day when you get back to Spotify. That just makes it convenient for me. I don't care about anybody else. It's convenience for me.
I need to get on that and follow up on it. All right, Surlana, here goes our credits. Once again, we want to thank all the Space Cadets that phoned home. Many thanks to those that have supported the universe over the years. And we look forward to talking to you next week, right here on Spaceboy Universe.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Associate producer is Leanne Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Leanne K, K28, Dino, Solars Blue Raven, Patrick Sporer, Bob and Beverly N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets.